Hi, today's Friday, February 17th, 2023. I'm Jason Shapiro with crowdedmarketreport.com. Today I wanted to talk about a subject that seems to be pretty popular these days, which is the idea of shorting the stock market. And I'll start this conversation by saying, of all the trades I've ever done in 35 years of trading, I can guarantee you that I have lost the most money shorting the stock market. And the reason for that is pretty obvious. I mean, if we look at the S&P chart going back, it's basically bottom left to top right. Clearly there were times where, this is the 2000 to 2009 thing, but the stock market has, at least over time, had upward drift. So when you're shorting something that has upward drift, you're swimming against the tide, right? And we can pick just about any other market. I'll pick them randomly. Here's crude oil, right? No real upward drift. I mean, sure, from here to here. This is when it went to zero, by the way, but let's go back on the monthlies. It's really just no upward drift, right? Which is why it's a little easier to make money trying to short that. Let's pick, the dollar. Here's the US dollar, right? There's the monthly chart. Look, there's no upward drift, right? One more will do. Soybeans, right? So, really, this is since 2008, right? So it's clearly a lot easier to short those. Now, you could say, well, that's been the last 40 years, and it was, interest rates coming from 18% to zero, and that's why the stock markets go up. And that may be right. And in fact, I don't even disagree with that. I'm on a longer term basis pretty bearish stocks. I'm not short stocks right now, but I am bearish, I would say, stocks over a longer period of time. But even so, I'm not saying never short the stock market. What I'm saying is it's a dangerous game. Victor Niederhofer, who knows a little something about blowing out because he's done it more than once, always suggests if you're going to short the stock market, do it in a quarter of the size as you would ever do a long trade. Okay? And that's a risk management thing. What I always like to say is that, then this is what makes it so dangerous, truthfully. I always say that shorting the stock market is very similar, in my view, to being addicted to heroin, right? When it works, it feels great. But over the long term, it kills you, right? And I know how great shorting the stock market feels. It makes you feel like a hero. I used to work in New York City, and I would take the train home every day, and I'd get on the train. I was short, the market went down. I would sit on the train and be like, look at all these fools. They're all sitting here. They all lost money today in their investment accounts, and I made money, and I'm such a hero, right? It's such an ego boost that you want to keep coming back to it. Keep coming back to it. There's no better feeling than making money short the stock market. But that's why it's so addicting. And that addiction is just like all addictions. It can be very dangerous. Just as another example, I know a guy that I worked with who was short the stock market during the crash in 08, 09, and made, I can't tell you how many millions and millions of dollars. I knew the guy, and the truth is he was shorting in 06 and 07 and 08, made a bunch of money, and 09, but then he was shorting in 2010, 2011, 2012, and the net of it was whatever money he made in 08 during that whole thing, he lost. He gave back, and he's broke, right? Because of that addiction. And when he did that, he was a hero. Let's face it, the world crashed. He was short. He made millions and millions of dollars, and he was a hero. And that feeling of being a hero is so addicting, right? You don't get to be a hero because, I bought gold and it went up 25%, or I shorted, lumber and it went down 30% in 3 months, That's not the hero trade. Short stocks is the ultimate hero trade, the ultimate addiction, and therefore extremely dangerous. Now look, I'll send this video out today and the stock market will start crashing tomorrow, okay? And you'll be like, oh, Shapiro told me never to short stocks. I'm not saying never short stocks. I have a process that I use, and that process does have me short stocks sometimes. In fact, we were short pretty much the whole first half of the year in 2022, just last year. What I'm saying is be very, very careful. Make sure, don't be doing it because you think the world is going to come to an end. I've been caught in that, right? They say the market climbs a wall of worry, and there are reasons for that. Because when everybody's so worried, then everybody gets short, and then the market squeezes and squeezes them out, just like it's done since the beginning of this year, right? There's always something to be worried about. The Middle East is going to blow up. North Korea is going to throw a nuclear bomb. China's going to invade Taiwan. Whatever it is, there's always something out there. If you want to make the bearish argument, you can make it, okay? But the bottom line is, over time, at least until this point in time, which is I don't know how many thousands of years, the human race has persevered despite how messed up we are. I like to say, well, I don't like to say, but a phrase that I like to use is necessity is the mother of invention, right? And humans have always been very good at that. Okay, there's big problems, but you know what? The biological need to survive and thrive somehow, despite ourselves, overcomes that over time. And if you're betting against that, you're probably going to lose over time. On top of all the other psychological things that I've talked about, right? You know, a lot of these people always say, don't bet against America or whatever. Okay, my point is, don't bet against the human race all the time, because somehow the human race manages to persevere. And if they're going to persevere and they're going to find more efficiencies and they're going to invent more technology, which we have always done, right? Be it electricity, trains, cars, the internet, whatever, then things are going to get more efficient and we're going to be able to squeeze more dollars out of things, and that is going to make companies more valuable, and the stock ultimately is going to go up. And don't even forget the population growth thing. Population growth alone means that revenues go up, right? Because there's that many more customers for businesses in general. Anyway, that's my main point. I'm not saying never short the stock market. I'm saying be very, very careful when you pick and choose what you do. Have a reason within your trading methodology as to why. But the macro short is sort of a very, very, very difficult trade to do. And even if it works once, it's hard to get away from later. And over time, it screws you later anyway. So just think about it. Be very careful. And hopefully that will help you out over time. Okay. Happy to hear comments or questions anytime. And please join us at crowdedmarketreport.com. And we look forward to seeing you there. And I hope everybody has a good week. Thanks.